What if God asked you today to leave everything behind? Your home, your plans, your security, and follow a path with no direction, no guarantees, only a promise? Would you go? Now imagine something even more extreme, waiting decades for that promise, making mistakes along the way, facing silent doubts, and in the end, being tested to the point of giving up what you love the most. This isn't just any story. It's not just an ancient account lost in time. This is the story of Abraham, the man who became the greatest symbol of faith in human history. But before he was called the father of faith, he was just an ordinary man, and there's something many people overlook. Abraham's journey didn't begin when God spoke to him. It started long before that. Abraham, or rather, Abram, was born in a city called Ur of the Chaldeans, one of the most advanced civilizations of that time. Ur wasn't a simple place. It was prosperous, organized, full of culture, trade, and technology for its era. People there had comfort. They had security, but they also had something that went against everything God represents: idolatry. Most people worshipped statues, stars, and false gods, and that was the environment Abram grew up in. Nothing about him suggested he would change history until something unexpected happened. God spoke. We don't know exactly how that moment happened, but we know the impact, because when God calls, it's not just an invitation, it's a breaking point. Leave your country, your people, and your father's household, and go to the land I will show you. God gave no map, no visible guarantees, only a promise. I will make you into a great nation. I will bless you, and through you, all families on earth will be blessed. But there was one impossible detail. Abram had no children, and Sarai was barren. Humanly speaking, impossible, and yet he went. At 75 years old, Abram left everything behind. His home, his certainty, his past. He stepped into the unknown. This wasn't just a journey. It was a complete break from everything he had ever known. Abram arrives in Canaan, and God appears again, reaffirming the promise. Abram responds by building an altar. Each altar marked a moment of trust, a spiritual milestone, as if Abram were saying, I don't understand everything, but I trust you. But faith doesn't eliminate challenges. Soon, famine strikes the land. Abram goes to Egypt, and fear takes over, afraid of being killed because of Sarai's beauty. He lies. He says she is his sister. Sarai is taken into Pharaoh's palace. The promise seems at risk, but God intervenes. The truth is revealed. Abram leaves Egypt, wealthier but wiser. Faith is not the absence of failure. It's moving forward. Even after you fall, back in the promised land, Abram prospers. But prosperity brings conflict. His nephew Lot also becomes wealthy. Their herdsmen begin to quarrel, and Abram makes a surprising choice. He lets Lot choose first. Lot chooses what looks best: the fertile Jordan Valley, near Sodom. Lot chose by sight. Abram chose by faith. Soon war breaks out. Lot is captured. Abram acts. With only 318 men, he fights against larger armies, and he wins. Faith is not passive. Faith also takes action. After the victory, Abram meets Melchizedek, priest of God Most High. He blesses Abram, and Abram gives him a tenth, recognizing that everything came from God. But the promise still hadn't happened. Abram remained childless. He questions God, and God leads him outside. Look at the sky. count the stars. So shall your descendants be. And Abram believes. But waiting is difficult. Sarai tries to help God. She gives Hagar to Abram. Ishmael is born. It looked like a solution. But it wasn't the promise. And conflict follows. When people rush God's timing, consequences appear. Years pass. Silence. Then God appears again. Abram becomes Abraham. Sarai becomes Sarah. And God repeats the impossible promise. Sarah would have a son at 90 years old. Abraham laughs. Sarah laughs. But God asks, "Is anything too hard for me?" And finally, at the right time, Isaac is born. After 25 years of waiting, God fulfills his word. The impossible becomes reality. Meanwhile, destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah draws closer. Violence, pride, and corruption spread through every corner of the cities. Their wickedness reaches its limit, and the cry of their sins rises to heaven. Then God reveals his plan to Abraham, not as a simple warning, but as a moment of deep trust. Abraham, filled with concern, begins to intercede. What if there are 50 righteous people in the city? What if there are 40, 30, 20, 10? He keeps asking, hoping mercy can still be found in the middle of judgment. But there are not enough righteous people. The decision is made. Fire and destruction fall upon Sodom and Gomorrah. The cities vanish beneath divine judgment. Lot escapes with his family, running against time, without looking back, without hesitation. But his wife cannot resist. She turns to look at the life she left behind, at the world she could not let go of. And in that moment, she loses everything. Then comes the greatest test of all. After years of waiting, after countless prayers, tears, and impossible hope, the promise has finally been fulfilled. The child once thought impossible now grows before Abraham's eyes. Isaac is no longer just a dream. He is laughter after sorrow, hope after silence. The miracle Abraham and Sarah waited their entire lives to hold. But just when everything seems complete, God speaks again. Not with another promise, not with reassurance, but with a command that shakes everything Abraham believes. Take your son, your only son, the one you love. The words cut deeper with every breath. Take Isaac and offer him, the son of the promise. The miracle child, the answer to decades of waiting, the proof that God had kept his word. How could this make sense? Why would God ask for the very blessing he had given? No explanation is offered, no reason is given, only silence and a choice. A choice between understanding and obedience. Abraham could have argued, he could have questioned, he could have refused, but he doesn't. Before sunrise, he rises quietly. He gathers the wood. He prepares the journey. And he begins walking toward the mountain God has shown him, step after step, carrying a burden heavier than anyone could see. Every mile becomes a battle inside his heart. Yet Abraham keeps moving forward, because even when he cannot understand, he chooses to trust. And Abraham obeys. The journey continues. Step after step, Abraham walks toward the mountain God had shown him. The desert wind moves softly around them. The silence grows heavier with every mile. Beside him walks Isaac, the son of the promise, the miracle child, the answer to prayers spoken over decades. He carries the wood on his back, not knowing what waits at the end of the journey, not understanding why his father seems distant, quieter than usual. The mountain rises in the distance, closer now, unavoidable. Abraham's face reveals little, but inside, a battle is raging. Every step forward demands more faith than the last. Every breath feels heavier. Every moment stretches longer than it should. He remembers the promise, the countless nights spent staring at the stars, the voice of God saying his descendants would become as numerous as the heavens. He remembers Sarah's laughter, the impossible becoming possible, the miracle of Isaac's birth. And now, he walks toward a command he cannot explain. Finally, they reach the mountain. Abraham stops. He tells the servants to remain behind. Only he and Isaac continue upward. The climb becomes slower. The path becomes steeper. The silence becomes impossible to ignore. Isaac walks beside his father, carrying the wood. He notices the fire. He notices the knife. But something is missing. And then he asks, "Father?" Abraham answers softly, "Yes, my son." Isaac looks around, confused, innocent, trusting. The fire and the wood are here. He pauses. But where is the lamb for the offering? The question hangs in the air. A question simple enough for a child, yet powerful enough to pierce Abraham's heart. For a moment, time seems to stop. Abraham looks at his son, the boy he waited his entire life to hold, the son he loves beyond words, and with quiet faith, he answers, "God will provide." Not anger, not panic, not despair, only trust. Trust without understanding. Trust without explanation. Trust in a God whose plan remains unseen. Together they continue climbing. The summit draws near. At the top of the mountain, Abraham begins to build the altar, stone by stone, slowly, carefully. Every movement matters. Every second feels eternal. He places the wood in order. The fire waits. The air becomes still. There is no sound except the wind, and then comes the hardest moment. Abraham turns toward Isaac. The truth can no longer remain hidden. Yet Isaac does not run. He does not fight. Father and son stand together in silence. A silence filled with sorrow. A silence filled with faith. Abraham binds Isaac. His hands tremble. His heart breaks. But he continues. Because obedience sometimes walks through pain. He places Isaac on the altar. The sky above feels endless. The mountain stands still. The world itself seems to hold its breath. Abraham lifts the knife. This is the moment. The final test. The point where faith reaches beyond emotion, beyond logic, beyond human understanding. And just before the sacrifice, a voice calls out, "Abraham." He stops. Do not lay a hand on the boy. Everything freezes. The knife lowers. The tension breaks. Relief floods the mountain. And then Abraham looks up. Caught nearby in a thicket, a ram appears. The answer had been there all along. God had provided. The ram becomes the sacrifice. Isaac is spared. The fear gives way to awe. The confusion gives way to understanding. And suddenly, everything becomes clear. This was never only about sacrifice. It was about trust. Abraham's faith was never truly placed in the blessing itself, nor in the promise, not even in the miracle. His faith was in God, the one who gives, the one who tests, the one who provides. Abraham trusted that, even when he could not understand, God remained faithful. And on that mountain, faith became greater than fear, and obedience became a proof of trust. Abraham, the father of faith. Now faith is the assurance of what we hope for and the proof of things we do not see. Hebrews 11:1.
If this story spoke to you, comment below. Which moment impacted you the most? And if you enjoy deep biblical stories like this, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. See you in the next video. God bless you.